everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open, the only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off on January the 27th, Credit Spoon will be hosting a credit education and financial literacy session. It's going to be on and popping. Joining us with all the details, we have founder and CEO Eddie G. Can I say Eddie G?
You can say Eddie G.
All right. But your real name is Eddie?
Gajadar.
Gajadar.
Yep.
All right. Association? Gadget.
There you go.
Gajadar.
There you go.
All right. So tell us about all the wonderful things you're doing.
Well, on the 27th, we're going to be covering, of course, credit education and financial literacy. However, it's not just credit, okay? We approach financial literacy from a holistic point of view. So, of course, we're going to cover budgeting. We're also going to cover credit education, and we start from the ground up and we build from there. So we don't make any assumptions that people know anything at all.
All about financial literacy.
All about it. So just for instance, credit. We start with what is credit, what is it used for, the types of credit, credit scores. What's the difference between a credit score and a FICO score? A lot of people think
what is
it's
credit,
the same.
and what is it used for?
Okay, so credit is just an exchange of goods. So someone will say swipe a credit card, they'll receive their goods, okay, and then they can pay later. Okay, that's just a very simple explanation of credit.
Yeah.
Now we also cover not just budgeting and credit. We have to look at this holistically, and I think that's what differentiates us from a lot of financial literacy programs and seminars out there, because we're also covering the top 4 areas of personal debt. So in order, it's mortgages, colleges and universities, student loans. Just surpassed.
People still paying them.
Right?
Yeah.
It just surpassed car loans, which is number 3, and then credit cards. Wow. Right?
Yeah,
So we're really focusing on 6 areas and really honing in.
So is there a special way to hone in on what do you tackle first? Because you have to pay your mortgage,
Right.
And that's probably fixed, maybe. And then student loans, that's probably fixed, but there's somewhere you can go to probably change that.
Right.
And then your credit cards, sometimes it's like loan sharking. It's over 25%.
Right.
So do you tackle the high-priced interest rates on the credit cards first, or?
Right.
How do you tackle this?
So the first thing that we do is we challenge social norms. Okay, so a lot of what our habits are based on what we see on TV and what we hear on, see in ads on Facebook and social
radio,
media.
what you hear on radio.
I didn't want to do it.
It's okay.
So, but it's marketing.
Yes.
So a lot of people, they buy a home based on what they see on TV. They see a commercial on Quicken Loans, and all of a sudden, they're refinancing their home for no reason. But they don't understand that when you refinance, you reset the clock, the payment clock. They don't understand that you don't need to go to a $60,000 university. You can go to a CUNY
And get the same education.
right? Okay, and get the same education at a much better value. Okay, we're not looking. A lot of like my family, they wanted me to go to Columbia. They wanted me to go to NYU. They didn't understand, because no one ever went to college. They didn't understand the ramifications long term as an adult. When I became an adult, they were looking short term. So what we're doing, we're looking at 14-year-olds and saying, hey, listen, when you choose a college, you have to be responsible, because one day you're going to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
And the way we approach debt, again, we challenge societal norms first, and then from there, once the people are able to make responsible financial decisions, then we start to get into the nitty-gritty, where we say, okay, we need to get your credit score up. Okay, we'll show you how to do that. That's why we spend a lot of time on credit, because the higher your credit score, the lower your interest rates.
There
Okay,
you go.
and the lower your interest rates, guess what? You're going to pay less for that car. You'll pay less for that home, because you'll have a better interest rate. Okay, if you need a private loan to pay for college, guess what? Your private loans are based on your credit and your parents' credit.
Yeah, but out of those things that you mentioned, the mortgage, the credit cards, the student loan.
Sure.
The credit card has the highest interest rate, probably.
In most cases, yeah.
most cases.
Usually between 20 and 30%.
Yeah.
29.9.
Oh, that's loan sharking.
It is loan sharking.
So wait a minute.
Legal loan sharking.
Yeah, I know. So do you knock that out first? And how do you begin to knock out that credit card with the high interest rate first?
Well, what we do is we'll a lot of what we do is we'll implement a debt snowball, but it's so much more, okay? Because even before the debt snowball, a debt snowball is basically you list all of your debts,
Yeah.
okay? All of your installment debts, minus the mortgage. Put the mortgage to the side for a second. Let's talk about the student loans and the credit cards, and you'll list them from lowest balance to highest balance. And then you'll pay the minimums on each, and any discretionary income you have,
Yeah.
you'll add it to the lowest balance. That's a traditional debt snowball,
Yeah.
okay? But even before that, we're trying to get a responsible, a change in behavior. So people are being responsible, one, and it's a whole system. So what we do is not just education. We also, at the back end, we give them an action plan so they know
There
what
you
they're
go.
doing. So,
Yeah,
so what we're going to do is give them help them to change their core values as far as
Yeah,
purchasing, and then help them to establish an emergency fund.
Bravo to the credit,
Okay.
the credit spoon system, yes.
All right.
You need that emergency fund because you never
have
know
to.
what's going to happen.
You have to. So many people, especially in this economy, they're losing their jobs. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
We need to have 6 to 9 months of living expenses.
There you go.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay, gives you some breathing room.
I was going to
Right.
ask you, how much do you need?
Right.
That's it.
Yep. I say 12 months. Okay, that's what I say to my clients. But a lot of folks they
A
can't.
year's worth of your income.
a
maybe.
year's worth. You know,
Yeah.
because you'd have no idea where life is going to take you. You know.
And the other thing, if you have a home, and a lot of people trying to get to that point, but if you do have a home, that is your bank, sort of, depending on how much equity you have in your house.
Sure.
You can take out a home equity loan because it's your money that you're borrowing, and that can be like 3.5%, 4%, as opposed to 25%.
25%,
and
right.
you can knock out those high interest
Sure.
credit cards.
Yeah, we look at all of those options. We
Yeah.
look at all those options when we sit down with folks. A lot of questions come up. You know, it's interactive. The workshops are interactive, so you
Yeah.
know we want audience participation.
So you have a number of seminars. When did you start this? Because people need to know about
Right,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Financial
absolutely.
literacy, it's not taught in this junior high school or high schools. You know, maybe
Right.
somebody will come from a bank and say, hey, here's a piggy bank, you
Sure.
need to start saving.
Sure,
And
sure.
tell you about a checking account and savings account, but it
Right.
doesn't go through all
Yeah.
the ramifications of, you know,
Right.
healthy living financially.
Yeah, a lot of the things that are being offered, they have an agenda. You know, so we're just education. We're not selling anything.
Yeah.
We're just education, and we're trying to help you. So the next seminar is January 27th.
Yes.
Okay, and the one after that will be March 31st. And we have some stuff planned for June and July and August and so
okay.
on. But
That's my birthday seminar, March 31st. Mine is the 27th.
oh, my
So
sister's
we
the
come on down there
28th.
and get a good gift of information.
Come on down. Come
Tell
on
your
down.
sister I said happy birthday. What's her name?
Natalie.
Natalie.
Gajadar. Natalie Gajadar, yeah.
Natalie, congratulations and happy birthday to you and many, many more. I was the first to say it. We were. So what are you going to have? Everything under one roof, right? To
Yeah,
help out financially?
Everything, it'll be, like I said, it'll be from, you know,
Soup to nuts.
soup to nuts, from budgeting to credit, mortgages, you know, student loans. It's not just student loans though, it's also the college process. You know, when I was straight out of college, I was an assistant dean at St. John's
Yeah.
out in Queens, and I learned a lot from the inside. I
Oh,
learned
yeah.
all about
Oh, yeah.
the registrar office,
Was it Bursar,
financial
no?
aid, Bursar, right? So I had an insider's view, you know, on the whole process, and even admissions. You know, like a lot of folks don't understand what you know, how it goes down, how you're
Yeah.
accepted and denied, and things like that. So we talk about the whole.
So we need to know about this before we go
Absolutely.
through the educational process,
Absolutely.
not after you get out and say,
Yeah,
look at these bills that I have,
there you go.
you know?
Yeah.
So where can we go for more information on this?
Well, you can go to creditspoon101.eventbrite.com.
Credit School,
Creditspoon
Credit Spoon 101.
101.eventbrite.com, and you know everything is listed. All the details are listed about the event.
One last
They
tip.
can register also.
Give us one tip before we go.
One tip: get there on the 27th so you can learn about credit.
There you go.
Okay, your credit score will dictate, in a lot of instances, in many instances, the health of your finances. So
There you go.
learn about all you can about your credit score.
All right, on TV Land, and in the studio, give him a big round of applause, everybody. Eddie Gajadar, founder, CEO, Credit Spoon. And tell my girl,
I will.
Jody, I said
Absolutely.
hello.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. And once again, happy birthday to your sister. We have to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. I promise we'll be right back.